In the previous lecture, we have seen what is the internal table and we have created one internal table. Now in this lecture we will see how to perform different operations on an internal table, like adding of the record using the append structure, like using the append syntax, adding a record with the insert, what is the difference between append and insert, then changing the values of an internal table, and how to delete the record of an internal table. Those all operations we'll see in this section how to do. So go to our program. So in last we have created this internal table, employee ID, title, all this. So let's add some record in this internal table. Add record. So how to add a record? First we have to add the content to a work area. That is, our work area is GS_I tab. After hyphen, press Ctrl plus space. You can see all the fields which are there inside the structure. Based on this, first select the employee ID. And let's say I'm adding an employee ID as, let's say, SAP 001. My employee ID I can give any number, internal table. This is my first field. Then I want to give as, let's say, title, that is Mr. Then next field I want to assign the value as first name, press Ctrl plus space. Let's say John. To copy the same row below, Ctrl plus D, the line get copied, and write the last name. Let's say David, and we have date of joining, GS_I of DOJ. When you want to assign the value, always the date is 8 digits, that is, and the format is YYYY, month, and the date. This format you have to follow, month and date, for the internal assignment of date. And my next value is GS_I tab, that is the department. My department is like IT department. So now after assigning the value to the structure, for adding this structure data into table, we have to add syntax here, right? Append GS_I tab to GT_I tab. After appending, always clear the work area, that is GS_I tab. Save and activate. So in this way we added the first record to our internal table. Let's copy this and add the second. Let's say 2, and here I am adding as Vishal Kadam. Okay, let me change here date of joining. Let's say he has joined in 2019 01. Department is IT. Let me add one more record here. It's a 3. And let's say here 0901. So when we add the record with append structure, is always add the record at the last row. Means first it will add this record into internal table. After finishing this, system will add the second record, then it will add the third record. Now let's print the values. So for printing the value, we have to make a loop on this internal table. So how to make a loop? Loop at, give the internal table name, that is GT_I tab. After this, we have to write into and give the work area. that is gs underscore itab. Add an end loop. This is the internal table and this is our work area, that is structure. Now inside this, always clear the work area at the bottom. When we make a loop, one by one all the records come into the work area. Then between loop and end loop we can write our logic or operations we have to perform. Okay, then after finishing the first record it moves to the second record. So let's say I want to write employee ID at position number 5. Then at position number 25 I want to print the first name. Not necessary to print all the records. You can print any record, any field we can print. At position number 25 I am printing the value first name. Then on position number, let's say 45, I want to print date of joining, and then on position number 60 I want to print the department. Seven activate. Now executes. Effect. So we can see three record, the ID1, ID2, ID3. So what we have done, we have added three record one by one using the append structure. So even if you add the fourth one, that will get printed at the last. This is if you are adding with the append structure. Now we'll see how the insert syntax work. The insert we can use in two ways. First we'll see with the same concepts. Let's say here, this time I want to add as, let's say Samir, the ID is 5. It's a Samir Khan. He has joined in 2017. 8, we can give any, and the department is, let's say, admin. Now here instead of append I will use insert. Insert work area into the I tab. Here instead of to we have to use into. Okay, what we are doing, instead of append we use here insert gs underscore I tab into gt underscore I tab. And ID I use, okay, let me add 4. Activate. Now execute. Okay, wait 1 second, let me check. So here if you're using the insert, then one we have to use the into, and after this we have to write table. So this will add this record into this table. Activate. This is the ID of 4 and department is admin. Execute. I can see the new record is added at the 4th position even if you use the insert syntax. But the second advantage of using insert is that we can add the record at any position based on requirement. Let's say I'm adding one more record here. Five. Let's say Sanjay. But this time, instead of adding record at the last record, I want to add at the first position. So I will add here index 1 and remove this table. Understand the syntax very carefully. This is very important. If you're using append, directly append the work area into the internal table. if you are adding record with insert, then we have to use work area with into table. And if you want to insert a record at a particular position, then we have to use insert. Here don't use this table, but after giving table name, write the index number where we want to add this value. Instead of 1, I can also put here 2. Save and activate. Now we'll see what is the impact of this effect. So observe here. So the last record which I added with the insert, but I had given an index. If I give an index 2, that will get added at the respective position, that is index number 2. Otherwise, it will just keep on adding record one after another at the bottom level. So in this way, we can make use of insert key to add the records. Now we'll see about the next, that is the changing. We can say as the modifying the internal table value. So how to do that? To see the example of modify, I'm adding one more field in my this table. Let's say it is as full name. I'm adding this additional field component in my internal table, and this will be of type, let's say char 100. I'm adding in my table. So what I want to do, first I'll print the value as it is, then I will give a new line. Here before printing this, I will write as, I'm writing as original record. I'm writing as original record. Let's say color as 5. And along with writing the original record, so what I will do, first we'll print the original record, and while printing I will also modify this table with a new field, that is full name. So what I want, here I will write as concatenate gs underscore, I'm not printing title here, so I will add as gs underscore itype as a title, and gs underscore itype first name, and let's say gs underscore itype, I think last name we have, into gs underscore itype full name. What I'm doing here, I had separated by space. So as in my internal table, I have title, first name and last name. So by concatenating, I'm making a full name. So this concatenate will add those all three values in a single field called full name, and it will separate by space. But as I want to modify my table, so after this I will use modify gt underscore itype from work area underscore itype. As we are changing only this value, so even though if you use these concepts like modify gt underscore itype from work area itype, this will work. Or if you want to transfer only this particular value, we can also write that here. So here, like transporting and the full name and field name which we want to modify. Save, check and activate. Okay. Give one more line, Q line, and print, let's say write record after modification, and this time we'll print again all the record here, but this time instead of first name and last name, here I'll print a full name. Okay, let's remove remaining field, we don't require that. Save and activate. To check the changes, press the debugger here and executes. Desktop 3. To check the value of this table, double click here. So you can see there are 5 lines, 5 records are there. To see the content, double click here. You can see 5 records are there and the full name is blank. Now as soon as to go to next step, here single step, press F5. Either you can use the laptop key or click here. If you press F5, this will go to next line, and here is the modify syntax is there. Again press F5, again go to table. You can see in the first record the full name is there, because system is processing first record, that's why only first record is there. Now keep on pressing F5. This will go for second, this is for third, this is for fourth, it is for 5. Okay, the loop is finished. Check the values now. We can see for all the 5 records, after writing, system has concatenated the new field, that is full name, and we can see the value in that. So in this way we can modify the content of the table. Executes. See here, so first you have printed the actual value, that is the first name, and then we have modified the record and we are done with printed the second record. Okay, so in this way we can use the modify. Now we'll see how to delete the record from the internal table. Let's say after modification I want to delete some record from the table. So I want to delete all the records where my department is IT. I don't want to print the IT department records. So what we will do here, before loop I will write, there are 2 options. Write delete gt underscore itab, where which field I want to delete, where my department equal to IT. Let's add department here also. After 40 print gs underscore itab department. Okay, first we'll see without deleting. So you can see 5 records are there. Let's give some more space here. 70, 7 activate, executes. So I have the 5 records in my original as well as in the modified table. Now I will uncomment this. So here I want to delete the record where my department is IT. Activate. Now executes. Now you can see only 2 records are displayed on the screen, because I have added a delete syntax and I have deleted some record. So in this way we have to write syntax as delete table and we have to give the where clause. We can also delete by giving the index number. If you want to delete a particular row, that also we can do, that we'll see. Let's say instead of deleting all this, I want to delete a particular index. Let's say delete gt underscore itab index 2. 7 activate. Again press F8 or executes. You can see here in my original record the second record is Sanjay, but it is not there in my after modification, because this time instead of department IT I have deleted a particular index. So in this way we can make use of different internal operations: add record, insert, changing, delete. Those are the operations. Now there's some more about the internal tables. So let's have a look in that also. Let's say describe table, sort and delete adjacent duplicates. So what is meaning of describe table? Let me comment all this after modification. Let's say before printing of record, we want to write how many records are there in the internal table. So for reading the number of records of our internal table, we can make use of one syntax. Before that, we have to write one variable. We have to declare one variable here, data, declare one variable of type I, for number of records. Go back. Okay, let me keep this as it is open. Just I'm not deleting here this time. Now here what we'll do, before printing, I want to read the number of records of this table. So how to read the number of records? Describe table. This is the keyword. If you want to see detail, again press F1. Keep using F1 help. This is very helpful if you are a beginner. So you can see describe table. What is the syntax we have to follow? Like describe table, I tab, and we have to give a variable here. Describe table GT underscore I tab lines and the variable name GB underscore lines. And we can write here total number of records, comma, give GB underscore lines. Okay, this is syntax to read the number of rows. Similarly, after modification, let's say we are deleting all the records with department IT. Then again we'll read total number of lines and we'll print the number of records. Okay, activate, execute. You can see total number of records before modification are 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now as I deleted the department of IT, so 3 records are less, balance are 2. So you can see the second time the number of records are 2. 1, 2. So in this way we can use describe table concepts to know the number of lines of particular table. So next we'll see about sort. Sort is sorting in ascending or descending order. Like here it is showing based on the employee ID. Let's say I want to sort on the basis of name. So how to sort the table? So here after describing before printing, what I'm doing, sort GT underscore I tab. If you're not adding any value here, after sort, it will apply sort based on all the fields. No change, I think, is as it is. So I want to sort on the basis of first name. For that, what I have to do here, after sort GT underscore I tab, we have to add the field name. Let's say by first name. We have to give sort criteria on which basis system should sort the records. So I want to sort in the ascending order based on the first name. If you're not adding any keywords after this, by default it will get sort in the ascending order. Execute. You can see it is displaying the ascending order. J is first, then all the record with S and then V, alphabetical order, because I'll sort on the basis of first name. If you want to print in a reverse way, descending order, After the field name, just add descending. 7 activate, execute. Now you can see it is displayed in the reverse order. First is the last one, Vishal, and then the remaining words. In this way, we can use the sort concepts. Now, let's see one more option, that is last one. Delete adjacent duplicates. In real-time scenario, there is a possibility like in internal table, there might be multiple records, and based on some conditions, we want to delete the records. Let's say here, in our scenario, our requirement is you want to display the values only one person from each department. Means we should get 3 records: finance, admin, and 1 from IT. So for deleting the duplicate record from internal table, first we have to sort the record based on the field where we want to apply duplicate check. Okay, so let's say if I'm deleting the record as it is, now this is my sorted table. In both the table records are same. If I'm writing here delete adjacent duplicates from GT underscore I tab comparing department, I want only one record from each department. But before this we have to use sort again. If you're not using sort, we'll see what is the impact. Activate and execute. Now you can see here, first we have 5 records, but in second there are 4 records. But our requirement is we want only single record from each field. Means in IT it should not repeat the second record. So to avoid this, before using delete adjacent duplicates, we have to sort the table based on the field for which we want to check in the duplicate entry. So sort GT underscore I tab by department. Once we add this logic, so initially all the records will get sorted by the department, and then after it will remove all the duplicate record. Executes. Now see here, it is displaying only single record from each field. Okay, so in this way we have seen all internal table operations: append, insert, changing, delete, and also we have seen how to use describe, sort, and delete adjacent duplicates in an internal table. So in this way we're done with this session.